The story begins with a woman named Cheryl Strayed, who embarks on an 1,800 archometer solo hike along the Pacific Crest Trail. Barely into her journey, she's exhausted, her foot is injured, and one of her shoes tumbles off a cliff. Frustrated, she throws the other one away too. From here, the narrative shifts to flashbacks, revealing Cheryl's painful past, her mother's death from cancer, a downward spiral into depression, drug addiction, promiscuity, and a failed marriage. After discovering an unplanned pregnancy with no certainty of the father, she opts for an abortion, feeling completely broken and lost. On the advice of her best friend, Cheryl sets out on this grueling hike to rediscover herself. With no prior hiking experience, she packs an overly heavy backpack and heads to Mojave Desert, the starting point. As she struggles with the weight and harsh terrain, she realizes the journey is far more difficult than she imagined. Hungry and worn down after 8 days, she seeks help from a man driving a tractor. Though initially afraid, especially after spotting a gun in his vehicle, she follows him to his home, where she finds comfort in the presence of his wife, hot food, and a warm shower. The next morning, the man drops her back on the trail. Slowly, Cheryl grows more determined. She learns from her mistakes, fixes her gas stove issue, and keeps pushing forward. One night, she encounters a venomous snake and has terrifying visions, but manages to protect herself by making noise and flashing a torch. Later, she meets another hiker named Greg, who tells her to meet him in Kennedy Meadows. After 14 days of hiking, Cheryl reaches Kennedy Meadows, where she reunites with Greg and other hikers. She receives a supply box and a touching letter from her ex-husband, congratulating her on completing 1,000 miles. There, an experienced hiker named Ed helps her lighten her backpack and gives her more suitable sandals. She also arranges for her friend to mail new hiking shoes to the next checkpoint. Now stronger, more prepared, and more focused, Cheryl sets off again, this time from Sierra Nevada, with newfound resolve and a lighter heart. Let me know if you'd like a voiceover style rewrite, cinematic breakdown, or SEO YouTube. Description. Here's the long one-paragraph English translation, asterisk, of the second part of Cheryl's journey, written in a detailed cinematic style. Despite warnings from Greg about heavy snow ahead, Cheryl refuses to stop and bravely pushes forward. Into the icy mountain trail, she struggles through the snow, and while resting, she realizes one of her toenails is severely damaged and must be pulled out, or she won't be able to continue in her boots. As she tries to remove it, one of her boots accidentally falls down the slope. Devastated, she throws the other one down as well, circling back to the moment where the story had originally begun. Now Cheryl puts on the sandals given to her by Ed and begins hiking again, even though navigating the mountain paths in sandals proves extremely difficult. By now, she has been on the trail for 49 days and finally reaches her next resupply station, where her best friend has sent her a new pair of boots, a much-needed relief. While resting there, she is haunted by painful memories of her past, her abusive father who tormented her mother, leading them to flee, the death of her mother from cancer, and the unraveling of her own life, infidelity in marriage, being caught by her husband with another man, and the divorce that followed, which was entirely her fault. On day 58, Cheryl is close to completing her 1,100-mile journey, but she runs out of water and begins to suffer from dehydration. Spotting a metal water tank in the distance brings hope, but it's empty. Still refusing to give up, she moves on and discovers a pool of dirty, potentially toxic water. Drawing on what she's learned, she purifies it with tablets. Suddenly, 2 hunters arrive and ask for water. Sensing danger from their behavior, she declines and walks away, only to later return, but one of the hunters follows her back. Terrified, Cheryl lies and says she changed her mind about leaving. Fortunately, the man leaves without harming her. Unsettled, Cheryl quickly resumes her journey, and after 62 days, reaches a town where she meets a kind man named Jonathan, who invites her to a concert. She accepts, and after a refreshing night out, she continues on her path toward the Mount Hood National Forest. There, she joins a group of fellow hikers and spends the night with them. Cheryl has left thoughtful poems and quotes at every station along her route, writings that deeply touch others. The next day, she encounters a llama carrying gear, along with an old woman and her young grandson. The boy asks about Cheryl's mother, and when she tells him she's passed away, he becomes emotional and sings Red River Valley, folk song his own mother used to sing. The moment moves Cheryl to tears as she's reminded of her own mother. On the 94th day of her hike, September 15th, 1995, Cheryl finally reaches the Bridge of the Gods, the symbolic and physical end of her journey. As she stands there, she reflects on the beginning, the pain, confusion, and despair, and realizes how far she's come. If she had turned back, she would have never experienced this transformation. For the first time, she truly sees her life and herself with clarity. In walking these miles alone, she has finally found her way back to herself. Let me know if you'd like this rewritten as a YouTube script, voiceover monologue, or with cinematic storytelling style. Here's the asterisk long, one paragraph. English translation asterisk of the final emotional part of Cheryl's story, told in a reflective and cinematic tone. No one had ever truly given Cheryl time, nor had anyone deeply thought about her. But throughout this long, soul-testing journey, her life, her thoughts, her heart, and her mind were completely transformed. Every experience, each pain, realization, and triumph she documented in her journal. At the very end of her hike, she encounters a fox standing quietly near her. And in that serene, mystical moment, she feels as if it's the spirit of her mother watching over her. With this symbolic farewell, Cheryl completes her life-changing trek, no longer the broken woman who once set out, but someone reborn. The journal she wrote during her hike later becomes widely recognized, eventually turning into a best-selling memoir. Cheryl finds healing, and a new chapter begins. She remarries. And in the years that follow, she becomes a mother to a son and a daughter. She builds the family she once believed she had lost forever. Looking back, Cheryl realizes that had she not accepted the challenge to face her pain, she would have never embarked on the journey that led her to peace, purpose, and a new identity as a writer and mother. Her story becomes a testament to those who dare to confront their darkness. When you accept your truth and your flaws, the path forward begins to reveal itself. And with that, this powerful true story comes to an end. Let me know in the comments which movie you'd like to hear about next. I do read all your beautiful comments. And thank you so much for your love and support. Let me know if you'd like an English YouTube outro version, voiceover script, or poetic closing. As well,